Okay, wait, mood. Set the mood. Like, am I being serious? Like, I'm Matt Kim. Or am I being like,
serious.
I'm Matt Kim. Hey. Hey, I'm Matt Kim, and I am a Christian creative. So I believe what makes me creative is the fact that God made me to be like Him. The Bible says that when God created us, He created us in His image. And so we bear His likeness. We're like Him. And so there's so many areas of who I am that I get to be like God. I get to be like Jesus. And one of those ways is my creativity. And so God is creative, and so I'm creative. So I think as a kid, I was always artistic. And I think because people around me associated being artistic with being creative, I always assumed I was creative. But it wasn't until I got saved and I came to know Jesus that I understood what creativity actually was. He redefined it for me. And so this whole time, before I knew Jesus, I was always artistic. So this whole time, I thought I was creative, and I had a incomplete understanding of what creativity was. And then when the author of creativity, when the one who made creativity came into my life, he started to show me what creativity really was. And so I think for me, like my journey was always about asking questions, like asking God questions. God, like you made everything, you know everything. And as much as I'm ready for, as much as I'm able to understand, God, like can you show me what creativity looks like, God? Like, can you speak into these places of my life and show me what it looks like from your vantage point? And so, yeah, I mean, it's really relational. I think God, anything that God does is always relational. It always is about walking with Him. And in that place of walking, He shows us things. He shows us our gifts and our talents, the things that make us unique, and the things that have the ability to bless other people. Yeah. So creativity is all about newness, innovation, ingenuity, and I think it's amazing. God says His mercies are new every morning, and so there's just this reality that every time we wake up, it's a brand new day. And so even in that regard, we're stepping into new things. Even if we go through a certain routine or a certain season, there's an opportunity, there's fresh breath, there's fresh encounters. And so walking with God allows us, if we stay engaged, to live our whole lives as a creative lifestyle. And so it could be in our relationships, we could find ways to connect with different personalities that we might not be able to connect to. It could be in our job, like the mundane things. If we ask God to breathe on it, it could become fun, and the experience of it could become new. And so I think creativity in my life isn't just what I do in terms of art. Like I do photography, I do video, and yeah, those are creative outlets for sure. But I think it goes beyond that. It's to how I do relationships with people. It's how I schedule my day. I write it out. I plan it, and I ask God to breathe on it so that it's full of wisdom and full of life, that it could be the most amazing that it can be. And I think being able to do that is what makes life so awesome with the Lord. So I personally have never wrestled with this, but I have had a lot of friends that have mentioned that. They've said something along the lines of, I'm not really the creative type, or I don't really see myself as a creative. And if that's you, I would just say to you this. I would say, don't think about whether or not you're a creative. I would say focus on what you love. Focus on what you love, and invite God into that thing. Whatever you enjoy doing, whether it's you love to swim, you love to go on a hike, you love, I don't know, like skydiving, something crazy, you love to cook, whatever you love, invite God into it. And let Him breathe on it, because I think a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be something, to be someone, to be creative. And I found a lot of times that pressure is actually the very thing that kills creativity. And so instead of focusing on, I need to be creative, focus on coming alive, because creativity is really just an expression of who we are in Jesus. And so if we let ourselves, allow ourselves, give ourselves space, give ourselves time, give ourselves the process to just enjoy something and let ourselves come alive, I believe that creativity will just be a natural byproduct. And so you'll wake up one morning, you'll be like, wait a second, I've been spending the past couple months doing this and it's been awesome, it's been so much fun. I didn't even realize I've been creative this whole time. And so that's gonna happen to you. So I would just encourage you guys to focus on what you love, invite God into it, and you're gonna find yourself being creative like you always were. So I have a Instagram channel, and on there I post content every day, 5 days a week. 5 days a week I post new content with either a text or a theme, really just to inspire whoever sees it, to inspire the creative that I believe is already inside of you. And so, like I mentioned earlier, I believe everyone is creative. I believe everyone is creative because God is creative. And if you don't know it, sometimes what it takes is that spark, is that encouragement, or is that thought that kind of provokes your thought. Like that's what we need. That's a spark we need to jumpstart our process and our journey into our own creativity and to develop it more. And so that's really what it's about. It's at the creative scene, like a scene, SCENE. And if you hop on there, you're gonna find just amazing content, inspiring, and there's a little caption that's meant to kind of stimulate your thoughts. And you could even take those thoughts and have a conversation with God about it in prayer. And so, yeah, I would love for you to check it out. Give me a follow, and I hope it blesses you. I think we live in a world that's so purpose-driven, and everything has to have a point, everything has to have a practical implication to it. And that's definitely true about the creative. We so long to be purposeful. We so long to have a calling and a destiny, which we all do. And I think sometimes we take something like our line of work or the arts or creativity, and we try to kind of fit it into this purpose. And I think there's a time and there's a place for that. But more than anything, I would just encourage you to let God show you how to have fun in life, because I promise you, there's so much is birthed from that place of having fun, and so much is birthed from that place of having just pleasure and enjoyment. I mean, when God made Adam and Eve, He placed them in the Garden of Eden, and Eden literally means pleasure. That there's a place of fruitfulness, there's a place of plenty that's actually named pleasure, because there's something about pleasure that causes more life to abound. So we have life that we know right now, and as we invite God and let Him show us the brilliance of life, where we're at right now, more life will abound from that because we're enjoying it. And so I believe fun, I believe pleasure begets more life. And so if you feel tired, if you feel worn out, if you feel like you need life, a fresh breath of life, I believe God has something fun planned for you that's gonna bring revival into your life. And so I would encourage you, don't just approach creativity from a practical sense, what I could get out of it, but learn to enjoy the process of being creative, process of asking questions, process of having fun. And I promise you, God's gonna just be all over it. It's gonna explode your life with joy and with fun. In Jesus' name.